What is going on, YouTube? Today is Sunday, April 23rd. Brett and I are officially less than 2 weeks out now.
2 weeks.
And that includes peak week too. So we have 1 full week left of us just really hitting it hard before peak week starts. And then peak week, you just kind of coast in. You should always be ready for your show before peak week. So do you think you're ready?
Yeah. I'm better than I was last show, so.
Yeah, I both think already we're bringing a better package than last year, so that's really exciting. So this video, I wanted to focus on the gender differences between prep, how my prep's a little different than his, and vice versa. So as you guys know, I'm competing in the bikini division, and Brett is competing in the men's physique division. So do you want to kind of talk about the differences between the men's divisions?
Well, the men's division's either your men's physique, classic physique, or bodybuilding. So most people know bodybuilding is like the biggest, very muscular, you want to be grainy. And men's physique is more of like the beach body look, more as the aesthetic. So you want that hourglass shape. The only difference between that and classic physique is classic has more size. So it's more of like the Arnold Schwarzenegger look. And they also wear more of like a man thong thing. Right?
Yeah, it's like a boy short kind of thing that the NPC provides for them.
Yeah, I guess it's more like boxer briefs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And on stage I'll wear like board shorts, like what you would find on the beach. Yeah,
so I like to describe it as like bikini and men's physique. It's definitely the most attainable look. But as the years progress and as the division gets more competitive, it's like the bigger the better at this point now.
Yeah, I mean, the top NPC guys for men's physique are
they're huge. Like, I would say easily 5-8 years ago, they would have been bodybuilders.
Yeah, easily. Yeah. And that's why they've created this classic physique division.
Mm-hmm. So, starting off, I want to talk about how our nutrition is a little different. Obviously, Brett is a male, so he needs to intake much more than I do as a female. But do you want to give your macro, I don't know if you want to give like legit numbers, but just kind of explain how you are going about it.
Well, my macros are, generally it's like 200 protein, 210 protein. Then I'm sticking to right around 200 carb. And I try to stay below 65 fat, 70 fat a day. And that's just personal preference for me. I'm a strong believer in listening to your body. So, yeah, prep's tough, but if you're dying one day, eat some carbs. Like, that might seem counterintuitive to people, but it works well for me. I know how to listen to my body really well. That's just from a lot of years of
that just comes with trial and error.
Yeah. Like, I have enough macros every day where I could still fit in, something cheaty, right? So, like, I could fit in a donut if I really wanted to. I don't really do that very often, but I could.
Right, because right now, at least with me, I have a coach and Brett doesn't. I'm just going to throw that out there. But I'm really trying to stick to whole foods that don't have a lot of chemicals or sweeteners. It was tough, but like I cut out protein powders just because I honestly have a very sensitive stomach. My stomach is very sensitive to like all the additives and things like that, and I will bloat severely. So I've tried to cut those out, and now that we're so close, I'm being pretty, like, I'm sticking to my guns on that one. I've even cut out, like, a lot of sodas and diet sodas, just so I can really tighten everything up to the best extent possible. But my macros with my coach have stayed pretty high. She's upping my carbs little bit by little bit every week just so I stay full. Which is totally different than what I was doing myself. This time around, my muscle is much more full. I look like I have more muscle, and that's what the bikini look is really about on stage, is having that full defined muscle. Yeah, if you're lean, you look good, but you just kind of look like a string bean on stage. There's nothing to really showcase if you're just super, super lean. But now I want to talk about training and how our training is a little different.
So I'm unconventional as far as I didn't do cardio until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's very bizarre.
1 month out. But then again, you have to remember we live in Chicago, and as a job, I do personal training. Like, I'm a coach for a living, so, anywhere from like 5 to 10 hours a day, depends on the day, I'll be unracking weights. I'm never sitting down, ever. And then on top of that, we walk to the gym, which is a 20-minute walk. And now that it's warm outside, I'm biking everywhere. When we want to go get groceries, we walk to the grocery store. So our daily caloric expenditure is a lot higher than someone.
It's much higher than someone who's driving to work and sitting at a desk. We rarely sit when we're at home or going to the gym, like he was just saying. So, yeah, we have very high caloric expenditures outside of fitness, which that really, really helps. But as a female, I will just say we hold more body fat. When you hold more body fat naturally, the cardio has to increase. So Brett is a male. He's already like a pretty lean dude, even in the off season. Oh, thank you. And as you can see, we need caffeine all the time. But cardio is just from the get-go, like it needed to start. Yeah, it was a lot less in the beginning. I was only doing like 3 days a week for like 20-minute sessions. And it gradually increased as prep went on.
Yours is still more than mine. I do 20, 25 minutes a day. Like like on a Stairmaster or a bike.
Right. And so my cardio has kind of differed as I went. So it started off with just 3 days a week for 20 minutes steady state. Then I upped it to 4 days a week. And then my coach, when I got my coach, she upped it to 5 days a week, 20-minute HIIT sessions. And then the following week, it was a mix between steady state for 40, HIIT, and some conditioning work. And now it's 5 days a week. On upper body days, it's 25 minutes of moderate intensity. And then on lower body days, it's 40 minutes of moderate intensity. And so my cardio may not work for you. It's totally, and like his cardio won't work for everyone either. Like not everyone can just be like, okay, cool, I'm not going to do cardio until a month before the show. It's just so variant on each person. So don't take what we say and say like, oh, well, I kind of look like her, I kind of look like him, so I know that's what'll work for me, because it's totally different. So next I kind of want to talk about our macro hacks, guy and girl macro hacks. So go ahead and talk about how you get your cravings taken care of.
I don't have many. One is...
What do you mean you don't have many? Many cravings or hacks?
Hacks.
Oh, Brett has hella cravings.
Like whenever we go to, it was just Easter when we go to Walgreens. That is the hardest thing on my soul, to just walk by a Twix bar that is 50 cents and not buy it. I cannot tell you that there's anything more difficult than that.
There's been multiple occasions when Brett will just like walk around with a candy bar in his hand, like in the grocery store, just so he can like hold on to it.
I call that the illusion of choice. Like, oh, I could have this if I wanted to. But yeah, no, that's actually one of like my tips is Taylor likes to track her meals, like meal for meal every day. I don't. I know what I'm going to eat every day, yeah. But if I don't track it, then I sort of have the illusion of choice. I can still sort of say, instead of rice, I'm going to do this. Or instead of a sweet potato, I'm going to do corn thins, something like that. So just that illusion of choice really helps me out. And another one is I shred all my chicken.
Yeah, you guys have heard me talk about this throughout all my videos, is that volume eating is key.
Yeah.
So like he'll shred his chicken and make it look more voluminous. I put all my meals on a bed of lettuce just because I don't track lettuce. Like you don't need to track lettuce, but I'll buy shredded lettuce, romaine, chop it up super, super fine, throw all my food on a bed of lettuce. It takes you longer to eat, so your body feels like it's fuller. And it just is that it's more volume. It's just a way to trick the brain. So those are some macro hacks. Also things like Walden Farms.
Oh, and I generally don't eat in the morning. A lot of people say like breakfast is the most important meal. like I said, I believe in autoregulation and listening to your body. I'm not hungry in the morning, so that just means I can save my macros for later in the day.
It's really just all about calories in, calories out. You can look in all the research and everything. There's no definitive answer that if eating breakfast is going to make you burn more fat throughout the day, if it's going to make your metabolism faster. There's no definitive evidence in that. So it's really just about what works for you. Like, I wake up in the morning and I'm a ravenous pig. Like, I need to eat breakfast first thing. But that also brings up another good point about meal timing, is that I do time my meals out, just because I don't want to end up eating all of my food in such a short amount of time, and then it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I have no macros left. So what's really important for me is that I don't allow myself to eat lunch until 12. If I can wait after 12, cool, but like, I will not allow myself to eat until 12. Dinner, I won't allow myself to eat until like 4 or 5. Like, I'll push it off till then. I'll have my snack at a certain time, usually around like 3 for like almonds or something like that. And then I will not touch my last meal until after my workout. And in between, I'll have BCAAs to kind of like satisfy my cravings and just fill me up, because drinking water, you feel fuller, and obviously you want to have a super high water intake throughout prep, at least a gallon a day. Do meal timing.
Yesterday I made that mistake.
Yeah, yesterday he was done with all of his food by like 5:30, and I was like, you're screwed, man.
Yeah, it was rough.
So I personally think it really, really helps to have that self-discipline. And some people do intermittent fasting where they literally won't eat until like, they'll wait as long as they can in the morning. They won't eat until like 12, and then they'll push it and push it and push it and won't eat again until like 6 o'clock at night. And I personally just can't do that from a life standpoint. I need to have energy. Like, I don't want to be at work and be super, super angry or not be able to provide top-notch treatment to my patients because I feel tired. I understand it if you have like a desk job and like you're really not expending much energy throughout the day. I totally get that. But if I was to do that, my performance in my job would really, really suffer, I think. And you too, obviously.
Yeah.
So next I want to talk about show day and how it's different for guys and girls, because it's a lot different. So show day for...
Let me say for guys, it's relaxing compared to what it is for girls. Like, when we did our first show, it was Taylor, our friend Chris, and I, and it was in Michigan last year, and Chris and I got there, we chilled backstage. I mean, before we stepped on stage, we got a pump. We drank a little wine, right?
Well, you had the spray tan.
Oh, we had the spray tan. But other than the spray tan, we just didn't really do much. They had touch-ups backstage. Like I said, you just get a pump, go on stage, and I mean, that's really it between the spray tan and the stage.
Yeah, so guys have it pretty easy. Last year, it was my first show, and I was doing everything myself. Obviously, besides the spray tan, we had the company spray tan us. But I did my hair myself. I did my makeup myself. I had to put on my eyelashes myself, my nails myself, literally everything. And we have to wear that tiny-ass bikini and wear heels. But it was stressful, and I totally recommend, if you can afford it, to have someone do your makeup and hair, just because it takes that stress out of it. But even this time around, like, I'm going to do my own hair and make it myself because I feel comfortable doing it, and it turned out really well last year. But I remember being in the hotel bathroom while you guys were outside just, like, getting ready, and I was stressing out because I didn't think I could match my makeup well enough to my tan.
I remember that.
But it was just little things like that. But for females, it's a lot more labor-intensive getting ready.
It's more expensive.
Well, yeah, if you decide to pay for your makeup and hair. But even just, like, buying the right makeup and all that kind of stuff, it can add up. I recommend watching YouTube videos. There's a lot of people who show how they do their show day makeup. Or just go on and watch, like, the beauty gurus and how they do, like, more intense, dramatic makeup. Just so you have that baseline. But other than that, so yeah, show day for guys and girls is a lot different.
Yeah.
So ladies, wake up hella early. Make sure you have timed it out correctly when you're getting your spray tan, so you know when to do your hair and makeup. And I definitely recommend for your first show to get sprayed by the people who are providing it, because it's expensive, but that was such a weight off our shoulders because we were noobs. We didn't know how any of it played out or panned out, or how dark we were even supposed to look. This time they don't. If for the Illinois show that we're doing, they do not even have like a company coming in. It's just like one lady doing Jantana. So we were like, screw that. I'm not paying $130 for some girl to do my tan when I can just do it myself. So we ordered Pro-Tan online, and we're just going to do it the night before because...
Yeah, and it's almost a blessing in disguise that there's no tanner there, because now we're saving
that money.
a ton of money. And also, it sort of forced us to look into doing it yourself. And it looks pretty bulletproof.
Yeah, we've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and it seems like people say it's pretty hard to mess up, like, if you thoroughly do it. If you take the time and you're not rushing, then I think we'll be totally okay.
I mean, I guess we'll see in 2 weeks.
Yeah, shit. If we look like shit on stage, we jinxed ourselves right here. Yeah. So, those are the kind of things I wanted to touch on, the difference between our prep so far. But we're so close now, and if there's anything that you guys want to see from us, obviously we're going to film show day. I'm going to talk about peak week. Oh, that's something. You talk about how your peak week is going to be a little different.
I don't even know how I'm going to do my peak week.
He doesn't know how he's going to do his peak week yet.
I'm just sort of like winging it. Last show I did a front end load, where you like load carbs earlier in the week. And then, as opposed to like some people who just load up on carbs the night before, it gives you a little bit more wiggle room, a little less risky. So I think I'm gonna do that just because it's safer and I don't have a coach. I will probably do that again.
There are some people who do like really, really dramatic things, and honestly, your body's so used to what you've been doing so far. Typically, you're eating the same foods that you've been eating all throughout. Just because you don't want your body to respond different if you just like throw in random foods
like
that you
pizza.
think are like peak week foods. Well, not pizza. What are you talking about?
Backstage, I've heard of people eating like...
Okay, well, like right before the stage is a different ball game, but like during the week of peak week, you're not gonna throw like if I'm eating sweet potatoes for my carbs all throughout my prep, I'm not gonna all of a sudden start eating like a shit ton of brown rice. Like, just stick to what you know.
Yeah.
And also, don't manipulate water. Keep your water intake high. You need water for your muscles to look full. I get it if you're like running gear, or if you are so shredded, like a bodybuilder or a physique or figure competitor for females who have a lot of muscle. Little changes in like water and sodium for them make all the difference. But for someone like bikini, and I will link a really, really good podcast below, Jeff Nippard's Ice Cream for PRs. He has like a 2-hour really comprehensive peak week roundtable with some other really, really renowned coaches, and that kind of really dives into the science behind everything and who should do certain things, who shouldn't do certain things, what you should mess with, carbs, water, sodium wise. They go into it all. It's amazing. I've listened to it like 3 times. So I'll link that below because that is just super comprehensive on it.
Just don't get overwhelmed.
So last thing we want to touch on is right before you hit the stage, what's different between guys and girls. Honestly, this is actually pretty similar, I think. So obviously on show day, a lot of people wake up flat. So what they do is they have like an intake of carbs. So backstage, bless you.
Ooh.
Baby.
Yeah.
Backstage, a lot of people you'll see with like a lot of simple carbs. So like gummy bears, Sour Patch Kids, things that are like people are taking shots of like salt backstage. So that's kind of similar for guys and girls. You are, I would say, about 30-ish minutes, 30 to 40 minutes before you hit the stage. A lot of people take like a pump product. Like we're going to take the high volume because we've found out that works super, super well for us.
Yeah.
So we'll probably take that maybe with a little bit of pre-workout to like get us going or something. And we'll probably have some like gummy bears or Sour Patch Kids, something. And I don't really mess with like fat before stage. Just because sometimes fat can make you look a little fuller, like a little more bloated, because you can't digest fat nearly as fast as you can with the simple sugars.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I'm going to do this time around because, first of all, I love wine. And second of all, red wine is supposed to make you vascular as well. Not that bikini needs to be vascular, but I think you just like, I don't know.
Any justification to drink wine is
exactly
okay, right?
Wine.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I'm going to do. My coach might have a different idea, and then I'll do what she says. But peak week for me, I'm kind of at a loss. Because I think she's just I don't know the peak week plan from her yet, but I'm assuming not a lot's going to change for me because she thinks that I'm looking pretty good right now, and so she's just thinking that we're going to coast in, keep everything pretty much the same with water, and maybe up my carbs a little bit, but I don't really, peak week's probably not even going to feel like a peak week for me, so.
Yeah.
What about backstage for you? Anything different?
No, I mean, I've been able to fit. I mean, in one of your first video, I was eating a Twix ice cream bar, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I've been able to fit things like that in my diet. So I'm not worried about digesting that kind of food. But even backstage, I plan on eating super simple sugars. Similar to you, like, maybe a Sour Patch Kid, maybe even just, like, some fruit, like a clementine with, like, obviously some sweets, because you gotta eat some sweets. And, but yeah, I don't plan on going too crazy. I'm gonna bring peanut butter and rice cakes just to snack on.
Mm-hmm. You always want to have a backup plan. It's better to be prepared than to, like, realize you're flat backstage and then not have anything with you because you don't think you're gonna need it. So I would definitely say overpack, and I'll do another video on like what I'm bringing show day, and everything in my bag. But yeah, so I think this was a pretty comprehensive talk about the differences between our prep. Yeah. We do things really, really different, as you see.
We're very opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, which has been interesting at sometimes. I'll be like, why are you doing that? That doesn't make any sense. And he'll say the same thing to me. But our bodies are where we want them to be, and they've responded really, really well. So this just goes to show you that not one way is better than another way.
Yeah.
Meal plans, if it fits your macros, like whatever works for you, whatever gets the job done for you is what you should do.
A smart guy, one of our mentors, said, plan your work and work your plan. So whatever your plan is, just trust it all the way through.
Exactly. And if you get a coach, just listen to your coach. Don't try to go on Instagram and find, but this girl is doing this and this girl is doing this. You paid this person X amount of money so they can analyze you and how you're progressing. So just listen to them. Have full faith in who you decided to be your coach. Have full faith in what you decided your macros to be for that day. Don't second guess yourself. Like I said before, be the athlete, not the analytic. So, yeah, that was pretty comprehensive. This video is probably going to be pretty long, but I think it was good for people to hear the differences. And if you have any questions, comments, leave them below. We'll try to answer them to the best of our ability. I'll link that Jeff Nippard podcast below as well for some more information. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I can't wait to bring the rest of the content out for you guys. This is the fun time. Now it's so close to show day, and this is where all the stuff starts coming together.
Well, we just watched the Salt Lake City Showdown.
Yeah.
And that sort of lit a little fire under our ass. So.
Right. My coach Casey took second place, and that was so cool to watch. And it was amazing. So find people who inspire you. Go out, kill your prep. Yeah. All right. I will see you guys all later, and peace out.